Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the ETERNUS DX-S2 conference call hosted by René Hubel. My name is Rachel and I am your event manager. During the presentation, your lines will remain on listen only. If you require assistance at any time, please key *0 on your telephone and a coordinator will be happy to assist you. I would like to advise all parties that this conference is being recorded for replay purposes, and now I'd like to hand over to René. Please go ahead.
Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure here to guide you through the new ETERNUS DX-S2 systems. So, my name is René Hubel, as Rachel already mentioned, and I'm working here within Fujitsu in product marketing. I'm in charge of ETERNUS disk storage systems, and yeah, let's move to the presentation. So just let me switch the releases here, so I hope everybody is able to see it now. So this the title slide, and what you can already see here is the subtitle. ETERNUS DX Disk Storage Systems reflects the term the flexible data safe. More about that in just a few minutes. So the objectives of our speech today is giving you more insights about ETERNUS disk storage systems in general, and on the other hand, I would like to pay attention to the new S2 generation, especially the entry level systems really being a perfect fit for the reseller and partner business, targeting small business, small and medium-sized businesses, and so let's move on. And I like to start. How to move? Here we go. I would like to start with that traffic visual here, because it's similar to our business we are in. So information assets are really key to ensure our business survives and thrives. To escape information gridlock, you need a solution that is really powerful enough to keep you in the fast lane at all times, and even as data volumes grow, one that's silent enough to protect against outages and flexible enough to integrate with your existing IT landscape, no matter how diverse it is. And in addition, when it comes to shaping a position in the competitive landscape, business know that sheer performance matters more than ever. And we as Fujitsu has the right solution. ETERNUS DX80, S2 or DX90 S2 are a perfect fit, affordable disk storage systems for managing data flexibility and safety in small and medium-sized environments. So this is something I would like to give this here on that slide, and now I would like to provide you some major information behind our ETERNUS product line, behind our strategy with storage, behind our insights and motivations why we are focusing pretty much on server and storage business, and what we think is that ETERNUS DX is the new alternative, in many cases the better alternative to the existing storage products from other vendors. And what's behind? First of all, ETERNUS DX stands for a comprehensive family of disk storage system solutions. So we offer systems from the entry level up to the data center environments, and one of our major things behind is that we are not new to that business. So we have already more than 40 years of experience and history, at least in the Japanese market. We are number 2, with really expecting to be number 1 in a pretty near future in the Japanese market. And with regard to quality, we are already number 1. Ranked by the Nikkei magazine for our storage products. And what we did in the last 2 years, we we rolled out the product line ETERNUS on a global space. So since 2009, we sell ETERNUS storage outside of Japan, and behind all that sales activities, marketing activities, we have a really huge environment of developers and quality assurance system engineers and guys. So we provide more and more functionality over time and making ETERNUS really the competitive alternative to all the other name brands here. We think we are on a good way, and you can expect a lot of fun in the future, a lot of more functionality coming alongside ETERNUS. Now moving to the next slide, which is going to show you really our track record and our history. So we are now in the 8th generation of storage systems with the S2 launch, and what you can see is that we already started in the 70s with big storage systems, and this is another very important aspect with regard to storage in Fujitsu. We take it really seriously with regard to reliability and quality. So these are the main properties of our systems, because we will provide rock solid systems, and we will satisfy all customer needs here, and there's no compromise on that reliability aspect here. Moving on to the more EMEA point of view, what we can say today is that we have started business 2 years ago, and within these 2 years we have already more than 10,000 installations at more than 4,000 customers right now, and the mindset of analysts and customers are already changing. So what we see is that although Gartner is providing more and more positive information messages around ETERNUS, so we are on the right track, and we will engage more and more over time in the future. What we can telling you right now is that we have already trained 130 sales specialists for consulting task and entering new customer accounts, and to really tailor the right offerings, the right solutions for their storage fits and needs. And what we have already in place is a central competence center in Germany. We have compatibility test labs, and we have a lot of local field engineers from Fujitsu in EMEA. Plus, and this is very, very important, we have already more than 450 partner people certified for ETERNUS, providing support, providing implementation, maintenance, and consulting services around that ETERNUS product family. So the message here is that we are ready, together with you, to serve companies of all sizes with really state-of-the-art products and excellent price functionality ratio. So coming now from the more general pitch with regard to ETERNUS to the really what's new with the DXS2 systems. And in a nutshell, it's not one single topic. We have now improved. There's a lot of new functionality, a lot of improvement, and I tried to segment a little bit these categories here. What we have is now much faster system as we had before, but you need to bear in mind that already ETERNUS DXS1 systems are still performance leading in many standardized benchmarks, especially in the SDC arena. With the next generation, we have really doubled our performance with regard to I/O. We are 3 times faster in throughput. We spend a lot of effort in the section of management, administration, and software functionality. So on one hand, we have really consolidated our tool landscape into one really comprehensive management tool, which is ETERNUS SF. And we add a lot of new exciting functionality to that. One prominent example will be automated storage tiering. We spent, again, a huge effort in safety and safe operations, so we now have built-in data integrity and encryption for data and controller on controller and data level, and we offer now a really compatible data replication from entry systems up to the high-end systems and the other way around. So, and again, one of the other aspects is the affordability, being cheaper, balanced cost, speed, and capacity requirements. So this is something which is really important. So now with the S2 generation, we are able to provide more capacity at the same footprint, and using thin provisioning and other advanced functionality, this allows us to have a much better utilization of the storage capacity by itself. This brings initial investment costs down. So there are a lot of things to come later on in that presentation here. And of course, ETERNUS is a greener storage than the other ones. We put attention to be energy efficient, so this is no one-time shot. This is a long-lasting strategy behind the product, and you will see some further improvements during the presentation. And of course, one of the core deployment scenarios, virtualization. So virtualization is one of the most prominent examples. We are really on the leading edge in order to provide required functionality to be able to seamlessly integrate our products into that environment. And this is something we spend a lot of money and resources and make this happen with the S2 generation. The next slide here is going to show you our two main categories, which really stands for ETERNUS, the flexible data safe. On one hand, it's the big term of flexibility, and on the other hand, we underpin and highlight data safety. This means the reliability, the robustness, and the quality of the product. And it doesn't matter what your final deployment scenario or use case will be. So ETERNUS fits perfectly to the mentioned consolidation, managed data grow problems, to the virtualization projects, to disaster recovery requirements, and so on and so forth. So this is something you need to keep in mind, because all the improvements are selected around flexibility and data safety. And to bring it now to the real facts, I would like to show you the product lineup with regard to the entry systems. So what you can see on that slide here is on the left-hand side the DX60. This is still the S1 generation. Now concentrate more a little bit on the DX80 S2 and the DX90 S2. One of the major differences compared to the S1 generation is the introduction of Intel high-speed CPU technology for both of the systems. Then we have more options with regard to disks. So the maximum number of disks for the DX80 S2 is 120, and for the DX90 S2 is 240. There's a remark in the table when 2.5 disks are installed, so just keep that in mind. The maximum physical capacity equipped with nearline bus drives is for both systems 240 terabytes. There's a difference, a minor difference with regard to the cache capacity. With DX80, the system cache per controller is 4 GB, and for the DX90 is 8 GB. A major improvement comes alongside the host interfaces. So what you can see is that ETERNUS DX systems, S2 systems, now supports fiber channel 8 gigabit per second, fiber channel over Ethernet with speed of 10 gigabit per second, iSCSI with 1 or 10 gigabit per second. So you see there's huge improvement with regard to bandwidth, with regard to technology. Also the fast interface to the disk or for direct connect has doubled in speed, so from 3 gigabit per second up to 6 gigabit per second. And of course we also increased the number of physical host ports, being able to serve more connected servers per system. So the maximum number, for example, for DX80 is 1024 hosts, which can be supported. Showing you more in detail what are the prime features, and to be honest, this slide comes from the S1 generation. Most of the things are still valid, but a lot of new things came along here, and the section outstanding benefits is going to show you some of the major improvements. For example, in data encryption we add a lot of new functionality, also with regard to the new disk types and drives with fast nearline SAS or SSD drive capabilities. So we spent some effort into energy efficient echo mode technology. We now add also to the entry system SYN provisioning as a core functionality, as a basic functionality, and of course we have various snapshot and clone functionality other competitors doesn't have. Going now to the next slide, you can pretty clear see the differences coming from the S1 generation to the S2. So on the right hand side, the red written things are new compared to the previous generation, and this is just on the system architecture, on the hardware layer, on the figures and facts spec section here. Moving on to the mid-range systems, because the S2 launch includes the DX80, 90 and the DX4 series, or the DX400 series, means we have two mid-range systems with DX410 S2 and 440 S2. Both systems are very powerful, providing more capacity to end customers. As you can see on the slide, we have, for example, 480 terabyte capacity with DX410 and up to 960 terabyte of capacity with the 440 S2. And we have same technologies and specs, but we have more ports with both of the systems. So within a DX410, you can have up to 16 ports with regard to the channel adapters you can equip to the system, and with the bigger system, with the 440, it's up to 32 host ports. So this means you can increase the number of supported hosts dramatically here. And of course also the cache sizes are much bigger compared to the entry-level systems. Again, a slide with one-to-one comparison to the previous generation. You see there's a huge step beyond the existing models, so we can serve with that kind of stuff really big installations. And this is not the end of the game. So on top of the DX4 systems, we also offer systems for the data center, which are in the DX8000 series, but this is not yet part of the S2 launch. So let's move on to the more detailed section here. The next couple of slides are just showing you some of the prominent features and functions. We are going to dig a little bit more in detail here. As I mentioned initially, ETERNUS stands for data safety and reliability, and this is something which is in our genes, which is not only on one of the layers. This is something which comes really from the physical device up to the application area. So we have a lot of functionalities and protection mechanisms and measures which are available. So on the right hand side you can see what's all there, and this is not complete. So this is just a list, and there's a lot of more, but this will explode this web session here. I will keep it as it is right now and move on. If you have questions or if you have some ideas or you require more information for one of the different things, so let us know afterwards. We will provide you with the white papers, with the manuals, with the specs, and so on and so forth. Yeah, another big aspect which underpins this reliability term is our rock-solid architecture. So you can take it as no single point of failure architecture. All the components are redundant, so it doesn't matter if that is a controller, power supply. We ensure data integrity by redundant caches, by redundant drives, by RAID mechanism. We have dual port controllers, we have multi-passing technologies here, and all of the components are hot swappable, and you can do hot expansions here. So these are storage systems without any compromise with regard to reliability and high availability. And going deeper into the architecture, one of the other big advantages compared to many others is our really unmatched flexible architecture of the system. So here on the slide you can see there are just some of the points mentioned. What we are able to offer with the S2 generation is a flexible mix of different disk types within one system. So you can really mix up fast drives, nearline flash drives, and SSD disk types. And this is possible in different form factors, so in 2.5 and 3.5 inch. We will support you with in-field change, upgrade opportunities for the various network connection types. So ETERNUS by default supports fiber channel, iSCSI, and fiber channel over Ethernet fabrics and topologies, and you can mix. And you can later on upgrade, extend, or change interfaces. So it's up to you. It's up to the requirement of the end scenario. Or maybe some things are changed, and now we need to move from fiber channel to iSCSI, or we need to do both. So this is a very nice feature here. And of course, there's another big advantage here. You will be able to upgrade, for example, DX80 system to a DX90 or DX400 system, or even that's possible to a DX8000 system. So this is something nobody else like we are able to do, and this can be important. Take an example, if a customer starts with a DX80 product, and maybe later on there's a requirement to have disaster resilient solution with two sides. So what you need is a DX90 at least to have the remote equivalent copy functionality, storage-based mirroring. So this is an easy task to upgrade DX80 to a DX90 without touching the data, without moving the data, without migration. You can do that, and this is something which is pretty unique in the market. so this allows you to have a fast migration to the next system class, and this is really a high degree of investment protection. So, and all the possibilities here are allowing really a flexible usage of the system by itself, and you can really change the characteristic of the system by itself if that is necessary. So moving to the next slide is giving you just an overview about the S2 line. So on the left hand side you can see there's a DX60 S2 already mentioned, but it's not available right now, so we will release the system later on this year. I will come to that information later. But DX80 S2, 90 S2, DX100 S2 are already there. But more interesting are the mentioned functionalities on the bottom of the slide. So what you can see is there's no compromise on redundancy, controller encryption technology, on data integrity. This is everything the same, from the smallest up to the biggest system. And we already start with the DX80 system with advanced functionality like SYN provisioning. Remote equivalent copy, as I mentioned, storage-based replication is available from DX90 on in the upwards way, and Eternus SF or comprehensive software stack is available from the smallest to the biggest system. So we have everything with every system, the same architecture, the same software functionality, with some minor exceptions here. And this is really coming to the final message here. This is enterprise functionality already in the entry class. So what with regard to future-proof and flexible connectivity, what you can see, there's a lot of new exciting opportunities in order to integrate our systems for fiber channel over Ethernet, high-capacity fiber channel. We have double speed with the SAS interfaces, and what you can see is the supported loans per systems. So, and these are really impressive numbers. You can see that, for example, DX80 S2 is able to provide access to 2048 loans. And this is really huge. What is also quite unique in the market is the ability to mix different host interfaces per system within a system. So you can, for example, configure a DX90 with 2x2 channel adapters with fiber channel, 8 gigabit fiber channel, and the other two channel adapters each with 2 ports with iSCSI. So this is up to you. It depends on your requirements, on your environment. So something which is really possible here. And as I mentioned before, we offer field changeable host interfaces, allowing you to migrate a DX80 or to upgrade a DX80 to a DX440 if that's necessary. Okay. Next one is just showing you the different type drives we offered with the system. So there are different type drives with regard to form factors and with regard to capacity and speed, and with the characteristica. So I will not dig too much into that one here, because this is just a snapshot of today, and with the next releases of new capacities and so on, the picture will change. So and then the systems are even more scalable with regard to capacity and so on. But if you remember to the previous slide, what you can see is that you have the ability, or your customer has the ability, to mix up different disk types with something in mind with regarding cost and performance and capacity. So it is up to you how many disks should be SAS nearline drives, maybe just for the backup purposes. The main drive infrastructure is based on SAS drives, and maybe there are some SSD drives required for really high speed scenarios for providing best performance and lowest energy consumption and so on. And this is something you can really adjust here in the beginning. And what is in my eyes more important here is really the 2.5 disk drive density advantage. So in this example, it's going to show you the major differences. On the left hand side, DXS2 is configured with 36 600 gigabyte 3.5-inch disk drives, and you can have similar configuration but with 72 disks, 2.5-inch, which allows you to achieve doubling the capacity. On the left-hand side, the example A with the 3.5-inch, you can reach up to 6,000 and something IOs per second. On the right-hand side, you have you break 10,000 IOs per second. This comes from more drives, more spindles, more caches, and better rate algorithm if you use more systems per rate group. So there's a clear performance advantage, and last but not least, there's also a reduction in power consumption by around about 46 up to 50%. So the message here is with 2.5-inch disks, you will have more capacity at the same space, you provide more performance in the end, and this is less energy consuming compared to the 3.5-inch disks. So I think this is already a good example of leveraging from new technologies, and the market will really rapidly get traction and will change today's picture, and we will see more and more 2.5 disks in the market and in customer deployments here. Key strengths, performance. As you remember on the initial picture with the traffic jam, staying in the fast lane, this is all about ETERNUS, because ETERNUS is a system designed for performance. There's a pure architecture for performance. This comes from a clear architecture with large caches, with best-in-class CPU technologies, and maybe more important than the rest by itself is the lean operating system. We have with our ETERNUS platforms here, and our tuned algorithms for rate calculation, for the rate engine by itself. This is something we have experienced for more than 40 years, as I mentioned before. We come from the mainframe class with regard to reliability and performance, and what we are able to deliver is not only best benchmarks with regard to SPCC and so on. We have the best systems with stable response times, also under file workloads, and this is something you need to keep in mind. If ETERNUS DX system runs for a time 100% under load, then we will be able to respond within 5 milliseconds. This is proven. This is a test we can share with you, also the results, and we have some comparison with competition, and we are far away of competition. So this is very good feedback coming from customers with regard to that performance stuff, and I will tell you more later on. And here the question is, why is this really important? Because maybe I doesn't have so many hungry applications, but if that is the case, you will really benefit of that technology. If you, for example, run big database environments based on OLTP applications. So this is really important that storage have great response times. Great means not long ones, means really fast response times. And of course, big caches are able to buffer a lot of things. And what you can experience is, especially in server virtualization environments, and those are bigger and bigger and growing. This is really a benefit having well-performing systems. So what we think is performance is really important to assure the high quality of your services, of the customer service here to their customers. And as I mentioned, this is something we have measured in our labs. Just moving from DX80 S1 or DX90 S1 to S2 brings more performance by factors, not by just 10 or 20%. So we have increased by 2.2 the throughput performance for the systems with similar configurations to the previous generation. And with regard to I/O performance, we have increased by factor 3, and this is really impressive. If you are able to use on a broad scale SSDs, your power consumption will drop by 40% or more. Okay, and where this is coming from is now provided here on that slide. What we can see is that the major driver for the increase in throughput is the internal bus architecture, the internal bus and bandwidth and performance, cache performance improvement. So what you can see is that, for example, the PCI Express interface runs now with 5 gigabit per second speed. This means also more bandwidth for the channel adapter serving the host on the outside. The internal interface to the SAS controllers is now 6 gigabit per second, so doubling the bandwidth, and we have faster and bigger caches. This means altogether leads to more throughput with 2.2 times better than before, and this is really key for sequential access scenarios like file servers need. The other big improvement for the I/O performance comes from the change from our previous CPU technology to Intel high-end Xeon CPUs, and of course by tuning our firmware and algorithm for that. So, and what we are now able to deliver with the N class is equivalent performance to existing mid-range storage of our competitors. So, and this is something which is really great for us, because we are very keen to win market share with that systems more and more over time. And another important aspect is the capability to have this big scalability section here, and also the maximum investment protection, because you can really start with DX80 S2 and you can grow out the system along with your new requirements. For example, you can really upgrade from a DX80 to a DX440 if that is necessary. And later on, when DX8000 S2 is released, and this will happen end of the year or beginning of next year, then you can upgrade a small system to a data center machine. So there's no question about that. The big advantage here is you need not to copy or move data. You just scale with additional drives. You just upgrade the controllers without disrupting the business. So this is just involved with minimal downtime for disconnect and reconnect the cables. So everything which needs to be done, there is no risky data migration stuff involved or source involved. So this is something which is also really great. Nobody else has a product line from the entry to the top, and with this upgrade opportunity here with this flexible data in place upgrades without touching the data by itself. Coming to one other prominent example here of the ETERNUS product line is the echo mode functionality. So this is something which is able to identify idle disks in a made environment, and which is then able to spin down these drives which are not accessed. So what you can take with you is this, that the echo mode allows you to schedule, for example, a time. If you specify for a portion of your disk, maybe from 12 in the evening until 5 in the morning, there is no activity on that particular disk number or made group of hard disk. You can schedule the echo mode functionality, or what you can do is to make it more dynamic. When disks are not accessed for 10 minutes or longer, then disks are automatically spun down, and when they accessed again, then they will spin up, and they will back in around about 1 minute. To give you an impression how does it work, the example on the lower part of the slide shows you the production data volume with 400 gigabyte SAS drives in RAID 5 group. This is something which is in many cases under heavy workload, and there's no opportunity to spin down disks here. But those disks or this RAID group needs backup volume, which is maybe based on SAS nearline drives on the lower section of the slide here, and this is just needed for a minor amount of time here, in that case just for 5 hours. So you can imagine how many energy you can save, because this is a typical customer example. So this is something to keep in mind. ETERNUS is really providing many advantages. As I mentioned before, we are really one of the vendors providing high integration in virtualized environments, and there's a new thing developed by VMware which is called VMware vStorage API for array integration. And to understand what this really is and what it does, so let me just spend a few words. So in a virtual server environment, so there's integration in between the hypervisor by itself and the hardware layer, in our case the storage hardware layer. So supporting that interaction is very complicated. That's the reason why VMware developed that interface here, and the main motivation comes from simplifying that interaction and make it more efficient. So the API is now responsible for the separation of the different administration entities. So everybody should do what it does best. So virtualization related tasks should be handled and taken by the hypervisor by itself. Storage related tasks should be done by the storage systems by itself. And we as a storage vendor, we integrated this API functionality in our stack, and so we are able to directly integrate with vSphere environments, with applications, and we can now offload hypervisor environments, which is normally then the server layer, to the storage system. So we are able to do provisioning and cloning of the virtual machines, for example, as a prominent Beispiel, on the storage layer, just using the interface. So, and this is really great because we are one of the first vendors providing that functionality within their products. Another example here with regard to VMware is the VMware Site Recovery Manager solution. So we have this certification already for S1 systems. We have also successfully finished the certification for the S2 systems. Our main core competence here is storage replication in between the DX systems using our ETERNUS SF software suite with advanced copy manager functionality. And this is something, this is green labeled now, so we are okay, and we can really target those kind of customer requirements with our systems. The next one here, it is just one slide, but behind that slide there's a lot of things we did. So the ETERNUS DXS2 systems delivers a really unified management with same look and feel for the array web user interface, graphic user interface, and the ETERNUS SF software stack. And this software comes along with a lot of new enhanced monitoring, control, and automation features. And one of the major aspects here is now that we have developed the user interface with regard to the already known and well-fitting VMware Virtual Sensor architecture. So what you can see on the left-hand side is tree structure of the environment. In the tab by itself, you get more status information, more granular input, and on the right hand side there's a layer where you can really run tasks, to execute tasks. So that's really the concept behind to have this 3-click opportunity. On the left hand side, select, then check the status, and then execute a task or something like that. And this will really lead into higher administration productivity. You can have more replicable procedures here because we integrate, for example, some automated functionalities here, like the automated storage tiering, and this is something which needs less training requirements than the previous generations here. It's in the end, it's easier to operate and makes your life or the life of the customers, administrators, much easier than today. Yeah. Another very unique example of advantages we offer with the S2 generation is the remote copy or storage-based replication over IP networks. So with S2, we had the need to have fiber channel gateway or switch devices on the edge of each of the sites, being able to do that, and now we are able to replace this by just cheap IP switches, and you can use the existing Ethernet connections here. That means this is one of the examples. You can use SAN, fiber channel SAN connectivity for your site-specific requirements and activities, but for the replication you just go via iSCSI to the other side and the other way around. And another good example in the same scenario is the improved remote copy function of the S2 systems. So we are now able to use storage-based replication in between the entire S2 generation, starting from DX90 on upwards. That means you can have DX90, DX410, 440 or whatsoever, and DX8000 systems in one replication scenario, in an N-to-1 replication scenario. So, for example, you have a bigger customer with a data center and a couple of branch offices. So just put the small boxes into the branch offices and have a big system for the data in the data center. And this goes also the other way around. So you can also have combinations with S1 and S2. And this is something, you should take with you, because nobody else is able to do that within the entire family. So this is also unique for Eternus. Moving on, because we are a little bit running out of time. Another good example is automated storage tiering. But before you run out and tell your customers, we have it, just keep in mind the first release of that will, alongside the new software, in September timeframe this year. And in step one, with regard to technology, we are able to migrate on a loon basis data. So what does it mean? Automated tiering provides the optimal replacement of your data without user interruption and so on. So you can do it online, and this is something which brings more dynamic into the different tiers and different media disk types you select. So if you have, for example, high-speed devices or high-speed disks with SSDs in tier 0, you can really data which are not so frequently accessed to the medium speed, which are normally SAS drives, or even to the SATA drives or nearline SAS drives, if that is one of the policies you decide here. And it works also the other way around. So you will be able to define the policy and the rules within the software stack, and then everything goes automatically. But be careful, this of course takes away a portion of your performance. So you need to really think about what kind of data should be really migrated in a very dynamically fashion. So, and step 2, it's coming end of the year, will really automatically move also sub portion of loon devices in a, for example, folder structure and so on. So this is something which is on the way, which is available by Fujitsu for the Eternus boxes, and you should keep an eye on it. Coming now to kind of a summary for the presentation here. Key strengths of our product line is really, this is a true family of products. It's not a patchwork. This is no compromise, because this is end-to-end way of thinking, way of developing, way of selling and marketing that product. So this is technology without any purchase from outside, so there are no harsh surprises for customers. Changing strategies, changing products, mid-range, we have just overtaken another vendor and so on. This is something which happens very often in the storage area, not with Fujitsu. So what you can see, we have the management stack from the small to the big systems for all models, and we offer compatible data replication, and we can have a snapshot and clone technologies in between the different models. So this is really important for a lot of our customers. This is a vendor you can trust on. And the final things you can see are here. There are a lot of features mentioned under flexibility, and the other one under the data safety term. I will not go in detail right now. This is something you will get with the slides. Some minor information or some final information here. S2 systems are launched end of May. First order date was the 1st of June. Now the systems are generally available. So we have realized first customer shipments beginning of this month. And the DX60 S2 is planned for September timeframe this year. DX8000 S2 series is planned for December or January, December 2011 or January 2012. And the new software stack, Eternus SF version 15, is planned for end of August. So next month we will have everything in place, and this is the final statement for the presentation. Now your questions will be highly welcome. If there are any more, so let us know. Rachel, if you could open the line, it will be great.
Certainly. Ladies and gentlemen, your question and answer session will now begin. If you wish to ask a question, please key star then 1 on your telephone, record your name, then press the hash key. If you then decide to withdraw your question, simply key star 2. All questions will be answered in the order received, and you will be advised when to ask your question. All other lines will remain on listen only. Alternatively, you may submit a question on the web by typing in your question in the question and answer section on your screen and clicking on the Ask button. So just to remind you, to ask an audio question, please key star then 1 on your telephone, record your name and press the hash key. Okay, there are no questions coming through at this time, but a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, to ask a question, star then 1, record your name and press the hash key.
Okay, if there is no question right now, no problem. On the final slide, there's my email account. So just drop me or drop us a mail. We will answer all your questions you may have in the future. So thank you very much for your attention, and yeah, keep in touch. Take care. Bye.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. That concludes your conference call for today. You may now disconnect. Thank you for joining, and have a very good day.
Good night.